Pumping that podcast wattage in your cottage, it's Think Digital. Get ready to take the red pill, think different about scaling your business, and free your mind. And now coming to you live and direct from the Moon, Iowa, the greatest city in the universe. Here's your guy, Justin Wise.
There is no spoon.
Pumping that podcast wattage into your cottage. It's Think Digital. Justin Wise here with you. I am the captain on this good ship. Welcome aboard. Hey, today's topic is, so you've been burned by Facebook ads? Question mark. So you think you can dance? Show notes will be available at thinkdigital.co/podcast. So buckle in, because this one is gonna get bumpy. So like I said, today's topic is, so you've been burned by Facebook ads. And the alternative title for this episode was Road Tripping Your Way to Paid Traffic Success. Let me tell you a little story. Actually, let me give you a teaser. So there's three main factors we're going to be covering today to evaluate your Facebook ad effectiveness. And this topic, this need, arose out of me talking to lots and lots and lots of business owners, entrepreneurs, who said something along the lines of, well, we tried Facebook ads once and it didn't work. Or we worked with an agency once and it didn't work. Or I boosted a post once and it didn't get any engagement. And so after I kept hearing that over and over and over and over and over again, I realized, hey, this is a problem. And it's a problem not because it's not a problem on Facebook's side. Today's topic, if you haven't figured it out, is going to be very much focused on Facebook ads, but it's not a problem on Facebook's side because they're making money hand over fist. So they don't have a problem. And in fact, Facebook has nothing but green, luscious grass in front of it. 10% of all businesses, all business pages that are on Facebook, only 10% of them are actively advertising on Facebook. There's a little factoid that you can stick in your pipe and smoke. Puff, puff, give. And so they don't have a problem. The people who have a problem are you and me and the folks who are attempting to leverage Facebook ads. And our problem isn't even necessarily in the results or the lack of results that we get. The problem is in the way we think about Facebook ads, the way we think about what they should be doing and how they should be doing it and how fast it should all go. That's the problem. That's where the issues come in. And so I called this episode, So You've Been Burned by Facebook Ads, and you could almost add, now what? But a little story. So when I was in college, I swear all of the stories, the good stories that I tell on this podcast are from college. There's a reason for that. But anyways, we wanted to road trip. In fact, there's a group of us who decided, hey, I was an electronic media major, which back in 2001, 2002 meant radio and TV. You know, the internet obviously was a thing back then, but it wasn't like it is now. So we used to have to go to the library to access the internet because some people had computers, some didn't. I remember my roommate had a computer and it had 3 gigs of storage space. And we thought, what are we ever going to do with all of this room? We can hold 100 Word docs on this thing. We can hold 10 MP3 albums. Anyways, my first senior year, the summer before, we said, hey, let's get internships in Los Angeles and an intern out in Los Angeles, because that is where the entertainment industry, where if people are going to get into TV and into radio, you got to go to Los Angeles. And so we all said, okay, well, let's pack up our cars and drive out to Los Angeles and secure internships and just have a blast. So We all packed up our bags, we all loaded up the cars, and we set out. Now, there was 3 factors that impacted our travel. Okay, there was the pull, the attraction. The attraction for us was super high. We were very much attracted to the internships we scored. I had an internship at a production house. A bunch of my friends got an internship at MSNBC. A few other people got an internship at Entertainment News. And some other folks got different internships. I think there was one guy, Lee, who just wanted to go. I don't even think Lee had an internship. Anyways, there was a strong pull. So that was factor number 1. There was a pull. We were super excited. We were super pumped to get out there. So there's a very strong pull. The second factor impacting our road trip was our fuel. So literally our fuel, and making sure that we had the right amount of fuel to get us out there. So we had to make sure that, hey, if the gas tank gets low, we got to pull over and fill up. Otherwise, we're not going to make it. And so as you do, you fill up a car, not only fuel for your car, but we had to figure out, okay, we need fuel for our bodies. So where are we going to eat? Where are we going to sleep? All said and told, it takes about 2 days by car to get to Los Angeles from Cedar Falls, Iowa. So we had to plan for all those things. So second factor was fuel, both for our cars and ourselves, our bodies. And the third factor was our mapping skills. And back in the day, there was no such thing as pulling out your iPhone and plugging in an address and going. We actually had to use paper maps. I still, to this day, it just feels like 800 lifetimes ago. I remember we had to pull over in Las Vegas and spread a map on the hood of the car because we were lost in some desert like idiots. But we had to have a really good map. So it wasn't enough just to have fuel in our car. It wasn't enough to have a pull or an attraction, something pulling us to our destination. We actually had to know how to get there. And so the trip was largely uneventful. But what was more eventful was our stay in Los Angeles. I will not go into this, but suffice to say, I thought I would do an internship in Los Angeles and stay there. And within 3 months, I could not wait to get out of Los Angeles. It's no discredit to people who live there, but coming from the heart of the Midwest and living in Los Angeles was an extreme culture shock. And in fact, one of my buddies, Matt, the first day we were out there, had his windows shot out. And we were like, where are we? What is this place? So anyways, we made it out there and then decided we got to get the hell out of Los Angeles. That's another story for a different day. Now, why am I telling you that? Well, so let's say you've been burned by Facebook ads. My guess is that one of the 3 key factors that I just mentioned was off for you. And those 3 factors, again, are fuel, attraction or pull, what I'm calling pull, fuel, or your map. And in the context of Facebook ads, it looks like this. Your offer, so your business's offer is the pull, the attraction. Your business's budget is the fuel. And your targeting is the map. Okay, so those are the 3 critical components to any Facebook advertising campaign that if you misstep on one of these, you will get burned and you will end up donating to what I call the Facebook fund. So if you don't lock these 3 areas in, just imagine yourself taking $100, $1,000, $10,000 and placing it right into Mark Zuckerberg's pocket because that's about all the good it's going to do. So I want to talk about each one of these real quickly in step. And we're going to start with the easiest one, which is the fuel. I'm kind of going out of order here, but we're going to start with the easiest one, okay, which is your fuel. It's easiest to set your budget. And here's what I'm going to say about your budget when it comes to Facebook advertising. It is very, very simple. If you want fast results, spend more money. I'll say that again. If you want fast results, spend more money. Our clients who need to make movements quickly, there is no other way to make movements quickly than by having a strong budget. And so the pace of a campaign will pick up the more budget you allocate towards it. And the simple reason for that is you learn. It's all about learning. It's all about optimizing. It's all about managing. So the more fuel, think about it as a car. The more fuel you feed your car, the faster you can go for longer, right? So the more money you put into a campaign, the faster you'll be able to go, and the longer you'll be able to go fast. Think of it this way. I am a huge fan of, I love smoking meat. I love smoking meat. I have a Kamado Joe. It's amazing. It's like 8,000 pounds. And when you start up a grill like that, you can do it two ways, slow and fast. Most times I just start it slow. It takes about 20 minutes to get up to temperature, and I'm cool with that. But sometimes I need to make it go faster. So what I'll do is put a fan on the coals. This adds more oxygen. Oxygen is fuel to the fire. It makes the fire get hotter faster. Same thing is true with your ad campaigns. And so if you're in a place where your results are taking longer than you want, a very simple fix is to add more budget, add more money, because you'll get the same results quicker. And I can make the argument that spending more money is actually more cost effective in the long run, because you learn quicker, you learn faster, you can optimize faster. And so a lot of times people will come in with a weak budget and they'll wonder, well, why is this taking so long? It's not that the campaign isn't effective, it's that you're not giving it enough fuel, or you're not giving it enough fuel to go as fast as you want. You can't expect the same results out of a $100 a month budget as you can a $100,000 a month budget. It just doesn't work that way. So if you have, for instance, a great offer and your targeting's locked in, but you have a low budget, it's going to slow down your results. Again, not because of any of the other factors, but simply put, it just doesn't have enough fuel. You can't get it up to 88 miles an hour to get those 1.21 gigawatts of power going. So if your campaign is going slower than you want, give it more fuel, give it more budget. A bad offer with good targeting and lots of budget on the other side of the spectrum. So I'll say that again, a bad offer with good targeting and lots of budget will simply be a waste of money. So having a fat budget isn't the end all be all, but it is a very important starting point. So the next layer that I want to talk about is your offer. This is probably the most complex on today's show because there's so many factors that go into a good offer. And we don't have enough time to go into all of them, so I'm not gonna. What I'm gonna tell you, I watched a documentary on Netflix, and I'm not one of these guys who watches like these super heady avant-garde documentaries about like saving the rainforests. No, I watched a documentary on Jim Carrey. Jim and Andy, I think it was called, or Andy and Jim. Amazing. If you're not a Jim Carrey fan before, you will be after watching this. But one of the components that I found so fascinating about this documentary, there's a part where Jim is talking about his early career. And he said, my career hit a turning point when I stopped trying to be clever and cute. And I focused on asking the question, what does the audience want? What does the audience want? What does the audience want? And he said, that's when everything changed for me. Because he stopped trying to be who he thought they wanted, and he started just giving them what they wanted. And that, again, as you know, he talks about how his career skyrocketed after that. But to draw it back to the original point, he kept asking the question, what do they want? What do they want? What do they want? And for your offer, you have to make sure that you're selling something that people actually want.
You're listening to Think Digital with Justin Wise. The next step down the rabbit hole is to sign up for the No Spoon newsletter, a free weekly email designed to increase your productivity grow your influence, and free your mind. Take the red pill and head on over to thereisnospoon.co to sign up.
This is why, and I'm sorry if you're a drop shipper. If you don't know what that term means, good, stay far away from it. This is why I have such a big problem with drop shippers, at least the majority of them. There's some good drop shippers out there. But most drop shippers, all they care about is peddling some cheap product and selling it at the highest possible margin they can sell so they can get rich quick. There's no thought, there's no consideration for the audience. It's just simply, what can I sell to make the most money? And I'm not against making money. I'm a red-blooded capitalist. But when you forego what the audience wants for the sake simply of making money, you lose. Good day, sir. So with your offer, make sure it has a pull element to it. Make sure it is attractive to your audience. This is the single biggest lesson for me that I've learned over the years. When we first started, I tried to be cute and clever. Look at how fancy, look at how much I know. Look at my expertise. Look at my experience. Look at this funny little headline. Who cares? Who cares? And that was a painful lesson because you realize quickly it doesn't matter how cute and clever you are. If you don't focus on what is attractive to your audience, it won't matter. And there are some guys that I still see to this day who cannot learn this lesson. And by sheer force of will, it's always the guys. I don't know why that is. Ladies never seem to struggle with this. Ladies get this. But guys are always like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is my cool thing. This is my cool widget. And I'm going to ram it down your throats. And the sad, sick part of it is that they can be moderately successful. By sheer white knuckle force of will, they can be successful. But they are nowhere near as successful as they could be if they reframed the question. They don't even necessarily need to change what they're doing, but the position needs to change. So if you've been burned by Facebook ads, you may want to look at your offer. Is it pulling or are you pushing it? Is it attractive to your audience or are you forcing it? Are you manipulating? Because it doesn't matter at the end of the day what we want. What matters is what our audience wants. And so I see a lot of people, I reference this quote often. Good friend Michael Hyatt says, good marketing will make a bad product fail faster. Good Facebook ad campaigns will make a bad offer fail faster. The only question is, are you going to be able to see it and admit it? Because if you've been burned by Facebook ads, you really need to take a good, long, hard look at what you're offering the market. Because they may not want it. And you have to be honest with yourself, put your ego to the side and say, is this something that my audience actually wants? We counted it up. I think Digital's been through probably close to 24 different offers. Just a hair underneath 24 different offers. Because the first 23 they didn't have the pull. They did not have the gravitational pull that the market needed to feel to bother with. And that wasn't the market's fault. That was my fault. So if you've been burned, if you're dumping money into Facebook ads and you're saying, oh, Facebook ads don't work. It may be because you're not spending enough money, but what's probably more true is that your offer is lousy, or it's not clear, or it's just one of your pet projects. And you have to put the ego to the side and say, does this actually fit a need in the marketplace? So it really has nothing to do with Facebook ads. In fact, I would argue Facebook ads is doing you a favor by showing you that your offer sucks instead of letting you limp along for decades with a crappy offer. I know I am more than grateful and thankful that I was able to speed up the learning process with Facebook ads and see, oh, hey, looks like people don't want a digital marketing course that teaches them 800 different things. Cool. Oh, hey, looks like the market doesn't want a mentorship program. Cool. Looks like the market doesn't want, the dozens of other things we've tried and haven't worked. So maybe it's taking a look at your offer. Does it have pull? Is it attractive? That's the next step. And then the last step is the most technical. And I'm going to close it down with this guy, but targeting. Okay, so think of me and my buddies with a paper map sprawled out on the hood of my Ford Ranger pickup truck. The blue wiener is what we called it. That may be the blue wiener. Yeah, totally forgot about that. Man, oh man. Anyways, our map was off, so we got lost. The truck was running fine. Had enough fuel. The pull to Los Angeles was still very much there at the time, but our map was off. So we couldn't get to where we wanted to go. Got to get a new map. So for you, this is the technical aspect. Maybe your targeting is off. So if your budget is healthy and you have a good offer, meaning when I say good offer, I mean people give you money for it. When I say good offer, I don't mean, well, this is how I feel about this offer. I feel like it's a really good offer. I think it's a really good offer. No, who cares? It's a good offer if people give you a credit card or a debit card or cash for it. And you can repeat that process over and over and over again. That's a good offer. So if your budget is strong and healthy and you have a good offer, in other words, there's an exchange of funds. There's not a barter. There's no bartering. There's no trades. There's no I thinks. There's no I feels. If your offer is good, people are giving you money for it, then it's simply you need to be in front of the right people. And if I can be completely transparent with you, this is the most frustrating part about Facebook advertising. And it's the most frustrating part because it's the most technical part. So, like people with a good offer, you can succeed by accident. But what I mean is like if you've got a good offer and you've got a good budget, we've seen it where you can succeed by accident. But good targeting, it makes the difference between a 2 to 3x return and a 10 to 15x return. I've seen it with my own eyes. Same offer, same budget, but you tweak the targeting. Meaning, I'm talking specifically about the audiences that you're testing in Ads Manager, okay? And this season, we talk a lot about how to build those right audiences. But getting in front of the right audiences can mean the difference between a 2 to 3x return and a 10 to 15x return. Nothing changes. Money doesn't change. The budget doesn't change. The offer doesn't change. But finding the right people and targeting them with precision is what's most important. Now, there's a caveat to this. So as I record this, depending on when you listen to this, and the way that we structure these episodes, by the way, this season, the theme of this season is the content vault. So this season is built on the principles of marketing. So the stuff I'm saying to you is going to work now. It's going to work 5 years from now. It's going to work 10 years from now. But there's a snippet in the news right now as I record this about Cambridge Analytica. This big scandal, which actually wasn't a scandal, at least not on Facebook's side, but Facebook is getting skewered in the news, All that to say, one of the big, I guess, PR moves you could say Facebook is making is by saying, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to restrict and pretty much eliminate third-party data providers on our platform. We're going to wipe them out. They're going to be gone. So October 2018, if you're listening to this before, use behaviors and interests as much as you can because after October 2018, they're almost all going to go bye-bye. That's another story for a different day. But targeting is super important. It's also the most technical. We've got a whole episode on this in this season, but really what it comes down to is building custom audiences that are relevant to you and your business. So this is where having an email list is super helpful. I talk about this all the time on this podcast. You build an email list certainly to get into people's inbox, but you also build an email list to get into their news feed. And building audiences based off real customer data. It's more important than ever. If you are not building an email list, it is almost to the point where it's too late. But this is something you should be doing yesterday, because your email list really starts to become the building blocks, the base building blocks, the base layer for your targeting efforts on Facebook. And the more, the better. So custom audiences are going to be more important. Lookalike audiences are going to be more important than ever. And those custom audiences are going to be based off your email list. They're going to be based off your pixel data on your website, on your landing pages, and it's going to be based primarily off of who's engaging with your content on Facebook. So using those targeting options, combined with a few other steps here and there, are going to put you in front of the right people. But I can't tell you how many times, and I look at this, in your news feed, in the top right corner, if you're on desktop or your laptop, you can see, hey, why am I seeing this ad? And it always astounds me to see how many ads come through that are interest-based. And when I say interest, what I mean is, going in and targeting people who, let's say, like the one I saw the other day was, this advertiser is wanting to advertise to people who are interested in Russell Brunson. And I have nothing against Russell. This is not a thing about Russell, but it's so broad that, yeah, you can use other elements to refine your targeting. But if you're not at least starting with some custom audiences, you're leaving money on the table. That's what I mean when I say it's the difference. Good targeting is the difference between 2 to 3x return and 10 to 15x return. The best targeting options are going to come from your customer client data, period. So you'll be safe. You'll be happy to know we made it safe to our destination, Los Angeles. And like I told you, we couldn't wait to get out of Los Angeles. And so after the 3 months were up, we said our goodbyes. I still can't believe I said this, but one of our classmates was going to stay out there. And when I left, we all left together. She was staying out there. I said, well, guess I'll see you never. And that was not the right thing to say. Let's just put it that way. I've seen her since then, but it's totally hilarious. So anyways, your 3 factors. So you've been burned by Facebook ads. Let's recap, okay? The 3 factors to keep in mind are your fuel. Okay, do I have the right budget in place? Your pull or the attraction. Do I have the right offer in place? And finally, your map. Is my targeting locked down? So that's going to do it for this episode, folks. Just chill till the next episode. I want you to tell me one thing that you learned today. Just one thing you're going to do different. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Justin Wise and let me know. You can sign up for exclusive digital marketing content designed to help you build your audience and influence their action. We have a gift for you, just for you, thinkdigital.co/gift. I'll be back next week with another new episode of the Think Digital podcast. In the meantime, have fun, stay safe, and we'll see you online. Bye-bye, everybody.
This is the podcastfactory.com.